What up, everybody? You know what time it is. You see these three gentlemen on a Tuesday night. We live. We in effect. We back again. Two mics up. I'm your man, Dave, the NYDC. Man, it's two mics up. I'm with my brothers again, man. I'm excited about tonight's conversation. Like, I'm going to keep it real.
I
We've
think the
been talking
Gremlins
a
got
little
us
NFL.
again.
Like, Gremlins got us. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Hello,
can hear
hello?
you. Good. Nope, you're good,
Okay,
money.
all
I can
right.
hear
Just
you.
one. All right. We back,
Damon, I
talking a
don't know
little
if we can hear you,
football
brother.
again.
I can
All
hear you.
right.
It must be Sam.
Might be Sam on this one. Sam, check your sound, bro. I'm getting a go ahead from Cliff, so we gonna go right ahead while Sam works on his audio. Um, like I said, we back, man. It's the NFC Chaos that we breaking down this week. And we going, man, we just gonna dive in with the nonsense, and really just chop it up, man, from top to bottom. I see a couple of people coming in, like we always do. Let us know where you joining us from this week. Sam should be right back in a second. I think
I
we was
think
having.
he don't want to get this Giants talk going. You know what I mean? I think
Wait,
that's
can y'all hear me? Testing,
Yeah,
one, two.
yes, we can hear you. You,
Syllabus,
you
syllabus.
syllabus 1, 2, 3. You in the building. You back in the building. We can
All
hear you
right,
loud
all
and
right.
clear. So we gonna do like we normally do, man. I just want to go ahead and just really transition, give you gentlemen a moment. I know we had a lot of things going on since the last time we were together. Cliff, man, anything going on? Anything popping off, man? In your neck of the woods, man? Anything new to report?
You know, I'm just building right now. I do. Come August 20th, if you are a insurance agent, if you had your own agency, we are bringing on August 20th in Richmond at Expectation, if I'm saying that correctly. Expectation, we are bringing Naya and the Black Friday Network are partnering up to deliver um, ways and tools for agents and agencies to succeed. All black agencies and all black agents, right, that are having a hard time in this market trying to excel. So
Okay.
we have some ways that we could get you appointed with different carriers, right, and really understand how your insurance business is flowing, and maybe we could add some ideas and some expertise on how on to show you how to have a profitable business. So, for those that don't know what NAIA is, it's the National African American Insurance Association. And then you're going to hear me say a lot TBFN, and that's the Black Friday Network. It is a young lady by the name of Ngozi who been with Travelers for about 25 years. What she did, she formed her own organization to help minority agencies or black agencies nationwide, help them, succeed in the states that they're in. And I am on the board of both organizations, so I'm glad to that I could be a part of that to help share ideas and things from what I learned in my tenure of being an independent owner to some up and comings.
Okay. All right. So put that on your schedule, ladies and gentlemen, because we doing it. We getting a little house cleaning out the way. Want to get you all caught up with everything early on. You could check out Cliff, Clifton Durham on his IG, or at TD3 Insurance, or you can hit him up,
Absolutely.
as well. Facebook, IG, however you need to contact him. If you're in the insurance game and you want to go ahead and gain some knowledge, he's your man to definitely link up with. And can't
Absolutely.
can't leave out can't leave out the house cleaning without my brother Sam, who he down in hell right now. He down there hot as balls. Uh, but
Man,
I'm gonna let him go ahead and talk about it. Sam, what's good, man? What's going on with you?
first off, I'm in Kentucky right now, and it's warmer than two ticks on a cow. Eating a bale of hay. I'm just going to sit there and put that out there right now.
Two
I'm
ticks
just
on
out
a
here doing a
cow.
little bit of training. I'm on week 1 of my 2-week stint. Next week I'll be taking my talents to South Beach to go ahead and just teach people the systems and development with my gig that I got on the side. Like I said, September, October is going to be time for a whole bunch of gaming. So just be on the lookout for my stream that's going to be coming out soon. Also, just like how I did with BlurCon this year, I will be going to the Electric Dance Carnival down in Orlando. That's coming up in 3 months. So I'll be giving my synapse probably later on, in November of my experience there. Last year I went to Vegas and I had a ball. So I can't wait to check out Florida and see what they have to offer.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
yeah, man.
Nice.
My brothers definitely got a lot going on their calendars. I see people have come in. We thank you all for joining us tonight. We were getting a little housekeeping and house cleaning out the way so we can get into tonight's conversation. Let us know where you're joining us from in the chat. Say hi, say hello, ask your questions or whatever, because we about to get into it. Uh, it's the NFC. Last week we broke down the AFC, gave our analysis, our jokes, and we just talked that regular bullshit about
So,
teams in the
sound like
AFC.
y'all was doubting. Yeah, y'all was doubting. Sound like y'all
Hey,
was doubting
listen,
me on
yeah, yeah, that Geno
Wait,
shit, man. You gotta stop it. You gotta stop it.
Hey, before we get started, we need to go ahead and put out this disclaimer because I know there's probably a lot of our fan base that relies in the NFC. So before we get started, hey, look, it's no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We got to
yeah,
talk
that's
about
good. That's a good point,
all
Sam.
4 divisions. Okay, now I know that there's a lot of hopes and dreams, especially in the NFC East. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Don't take
hey,
it
look,
personal.
yeah,
Don't
don't
take
take
it
it personal.
personal. Don't break there.
Especially
This
when
is
we
not a space.
especially when we talk about them Cowboys. Don't take it personal.
Oh my gosh, don't take
Man,
it personal.
shit, I wasn't even gonna talk. I wasn't even gonna talk about them some bitches, but okay, all right, Jared. We got Jared and the boys in the building. But as we kick it off, tonight, yeah, there's heavy NFC rotation, and I was trying to figure out a good way to kick it off, and I just figured, let's start here with us as hosts, and I
Mhm.
wanted to give Sam an opportunity because Sam and his Packers have been the most relevant team to date, uh, considering where we are and who we all support. So I figured we kick it off with the NFC North, and we would
Okay.
go ahead and let Sam go ahead and start us off this evening.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let's talk about the NFC North. We got 4 teams right now that's vying to see who's going to be on the top. I can already negate one, and that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings. They just announced today that the inch eye, private eye, Kyler Murray is going to be their starting quarterback. And let's
Yeah.
speak on let's just talk about this a little bit because I know like last week we kind of dipped into it, and I remember last season at the beginning of the NFL season for 2025-2026, we were talking about AJ McCarthy and just his performance. JJ McCarthy, I'm sorry, and his performance as a QB going into year 3. Here we are, and he done lost his starting position again. So
Yeah.
I guess we're to the point now. It's like when is Minnesota just going to go ahead and cut sling load on him?
Mm.
I know that has to be frustrating for Alshon Jeffries, Addison, and the rest of the company within Minnesota. So I really don't see them going that far within the conference. Now let's talk about the other 3. You got Detroit, you got Green Bay, you have Chicago. With that being said, we were talking about all the adjustments. Here you have, I'll just talk about my team right now. You have Green Bay with life after Romeo Dobbs, Jeff Halfley, their
Yeah.
defensive coordinator. They lost somebody from the front office too that took their talents down to Miami. So I feel for Green Bay, and especially with Matt LaFleur, this is going to be a make or break for him this season. Where is Jordan Love at? Like you have a lot of returning
That
players.
part.
They done
That
gave
part.
Christian Watson the bag with signing him. How healthy is Josh Jacobs going to be because he had that knee injury,
Good point.
midway through the season and everything. We have life without Romeo Dobbs, since he went to the Patriots and everything.
Yep. Yep.
And like, I'm okay with that just because like we had a huge receiver carousel to begin with. So, like I know he's going to be missed, but there's still plenty of other players. I think offensively we're fine. We got Tucker Kraft back.
I
Christian
agree.
Watson
I
looks
agree.
healthy. We have they have a couple of new additions on the running back core, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud of. The thing that plagued us the most was the secondary, and there was a lot of upgrades that we did. It sucks because I think Nixon, he's getting secondary reps right now, and I know he's a little
Mm-hmm.
bit frustrated with that.
Yep.
But it looks like Green Bay put the pieces in that they needed to.
Yeah.
So I'm happy and relieved about that. We talked about
I got
Chicago
to ask you
last
though.
week.
I
Yeah.
was just going to ask you. Do you think just in general before you get into the rest of the division, do you think Green Bay has enough left in the tank with all the moves that they made to really make a run? Because towards the end of last season, I think they faded, defensively especially.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you think they have enough in the bag even with the receiver carousel? Because I like Christian Watson, but I'm not a fan of him because he can't stay healthy. So do they
Which is
have enough?
correct.
You
Well,
know what
they
I'm saying?
did. We did pick up a rookie with Williams, and he's been
Mm-hmm.
showing his mettle during the preseason practices and everything. So I'm a little hopeful. I'm happy that Tucker Kraft is back, and they removed him off the PUP list. And just
Mm-hmm.
looking at some of the scrimmages and everything that they had, it looks like he's ready. Um, and you brought it up. So strength and conditioning, and I've been talking about this for years. And Dame, you can be witness to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's like you said, like we're a good Green Bay is a good first half team, but
Yep.
it
Yep.
seems like they get a little bit too complacent, especially when they have if they're up by like 2-3 touchdowns, then they
Yep.
sit
Yep.
there and they start peeling the onion. Well, not peeling they ease off the brake. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? When they should be all gas and no brakes. So that's going to determine like is is Green Bay going to be able to play a full 4 quarters instead of just two?
Yeah.
So that's going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
critical for them.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the new defensive coordinator, they can sit here and turn that around and be good. But we'll
Okay.
see. We'll see like within the first 3-4 weeks, like defensively, whether or not they could get those 3 and outs. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
offensively, if Matt LaFleur could sit here and change up his play calling so it doesn't sit here and get repetitious,
Yeah,
and
man.
still run the same old plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Which
Yep.
like 60% of them are like run plays in the pocket, and they're not spreading the ball out. So that's going to be critical for them. We did talk about Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, defensively, I know that they lost a couple of players. They lost 2 key
Yep.
receivers. So I feel like the North is back up for grabs because
Hmm.
with the whole player and coaching carousel that you have in the NFC North, I think that it's going to give a lot of people more run for their money. Of course, I'm gonna be biased and I'm gonna say Green Bay, but I can't sit here and forget about Detroit too.
That's right. That's
Detroit
right.
problem is that
Yeah.
Callahan needs to sit here and be more strategic, especially when it comes to those third and fourth down plays. He can't sit here and go for it every freaking fourth down like he did the past 2 seasons. Like a lot of teams done sat there and got hip to that.
Right.
So, like I said, if I had to pick somebody, of course I'm a pick Green Bay, but I can't negate the champs of the North last year
Yeah.
with Chicago. So like
Yeah.
we'll see, but I feel like Green Bay has what it takes to take it all the way. So if not
Yeah.
this year, then it's a wrap. And they're going to be talking about restructuring contracts, and Matt LaFleur will probably
So
be down in Arizona with coaching for his younger brother and shit.
Matt,
fair
And that's
enough.
just
yeah.
real
Fair enough.
talk.
Fair enough. because I think Matt is on the line this year too. I agree
Oh
with
yeah, definitely.
all the pieces that they put in place. But I'm gonna defer to Detroit. I think Detroit last year. I mean, every team we talk about every team deals with injuries.
Yeah.
I don't buy anything coming out of Chicago. Caleb Williams, I know he's a local guy. I want to shout him out being a local guy here from the DMV, but he
Mm.
does not convince me that he has the tool set. He reminds me of a Cam Newton. When things are good, you get all this drama and all this effect, but when things are tough and they're losing, he's a pouty mouth kid. And
Mm.
I don't. That's just me. Just my observation. I don't buy anything last year. Look, they put the pieces together, but I'm going to go with Detroit. I think this is the year that everything that they have on the offense and defensive side. I think it all clicks, and I think they're the dark horse to win the division, the NFC North this year. So I think it's going to be interesting because that has become one of the most competitive divisions in the NFC. When you look at the NFC, I really have to put them in the NFC West,
Yeah.
really at the pinnacle of the conversation. So I think it's going to be hell to bear for you and your Packers and the entire NFC North going forward. I'm Cliff. I'm interested to hear your take or anything you have on the NFC North.
Yeah, I would like to out of the North. I like the Packers.
Mm,
Out of the North, I just wish Michael Parson could start the first week. Right, he's going to be
mm,
out for about 6 weeks. So that's six
yeah,
Yeah.
games. Your first 6 games is very, very important. So I would have liked to seen what they would have done with him coming out the door. But
right.
the teams out of the North, I like the Packers first, and I'm with you, Dame. Uh, Last year, Khalil had a good season. He had a good
Hmm.
playoffs. He had a good season to me, but it's like I got to see it again before
Right,
I'm a true believer, right, in the
right.
Bears because it's just not there. I think Green Bay, even when they have injuries, they still can make something
Mhm.
happen. And Jordan Love should have a phenomenal year this year. He's kind of, I don't want to say pressure, and then Sam, you can let me know because I know this is your squad. Does he have that same pressure as the Texans? Oh, I just draw a blank
Oh,
of
well,
the,
CJ, like CJ, like CJ,
Stroud.
CJ
Yeah,
Stroud.
CJ Stroud. Would you give him that same type of or pressure like he's got to bring it this year? What you think?
I think the issue with Jordan Love, and here's the problem because when Jordan was hurt last year, Malik Willis
Willis.
played so good,
Mm,
and that's the problem that you have right now. Like you had a backup that had a better uh, QB IQ, accuracy, like all these things came into play that it became bittersweet when, Jordan Love got healthy and it's like, damn, do I really want him in the game right now? Because,
Mm,
Malik Willis was winning games. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
even when we lost with Malik Willis, at least it was close. He didn't sit
mm,
here and risk like the deep ball throwing to Christian Watson or Romeo Dobbs. You know what I'm saying? In like a 3-man coverage or something like that. He wasn't reckless with the ball. So to
right.
me, that's going to be the critical part for Jordan Love. Can he
All right.
be a true offensive captain, that QB and leader that we need to take us to the next level. I feel like this. I don't think it's a make or break for him because
Mm,
I mean, shit, we still been making it to the playoffs and everything, right?
right.
Yeah,
But
True.
yeah.
when is he going to have his, like 2011 Packers run? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think if not, if that doesn't happen now, then I honestly feel like it's never going to happen. And then he's just going to be
Mm,
like one of those QBs that's like good, you know what I'm saying, but can't lead his team, you know what I'm saying, deep into the playoffs. So he needs to push forward because now you're looking compared to, yeah, Aaron Rodgers only won one ring, but he won a ring within his, 12-year
his
or
prime.
14-year tenure, with Green Bay and everything. He who should not be mentioned, number 4, he won a ring, back in the 90s. It took him a minute, but he won a ring too. So like, I Jordan Love has to get that ring, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
don't think he's in the hot seat because he's been winning. CJ
yeah.
Stroud had, and he's had a plus 500 season throughout his career too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud on the other hand, he's been going through,
Yeah. The
valleys
roller
and
coaster.
hills and
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what makes it challenging. I don't think that they're comparable just because, like I said, Jordan Love been winning as far as like we don't know what type of CJ, and we talked about this last week. We don't know what type of CJ Stroud we go to see in
Yeah.
2026.
That I think
Mm.
I agree. I think it's more imperative on CJ to really ball out this year more so than Love, because
Mm.
Love has been consistent in what
Yeah.
he's done, and he's
Hmm.
been competitive, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason though, he's allergic to the NFL playoff season.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, and I don't put it all on Love. I put it on Matt LaFleur too. His
That
coaching
too.
style, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I put it on his coaching style, and like you said earlier, they tend to take their foot off the gas instead of putting their knee in somebody's neck. They
Hmm.
play a lot
Yeah.
of that cover, and that cover really
Yeah.
eats them up, especially when in the most recent years your defensive secondary has been somewhat weak and shallow, in my opinion, and they've been targeted and attacked in that bubble cover three and cover two type defense.
Hmm.
So again,
Yeah.
I think I put part of that on Matt Lafleur, and I do want to
Yeah.
this for our Minnesota Viking fans. I mean, look, we are shitting on you because you really have nothing much to look forward to. You have a guy that's shorter than me, uh, playing as your QB1. And look, he's a former
Yeah.
first round pick. I get it. I don't think he's terrible. I think this is a good opportunity for him. But like you started, Sam, and I want to ask you, Cliff, is it time to move on from JJ McCarthy? And what does that really mean? Like, what are we looking at for Minnesota moving forward? You got Justin Jefferson. You got what's his name, Aaron. What's his Jones that was in Green Bay. He's still
Yeah.
somewhat durable and reliable. They still have offensive weapons.
Addison.
They're- Addison, another one. They
Yeah.
have some defensive weapons that keep them in the game. But looking big picture, Cliff, like what does this mean for the Vikings this season? One, if they don't even win and they're not competitive, like is it just time to blow this whole thing up? Like, what's your thoughts on what they should do moving forward?
Here's my thing. If they starting Murray right now, they might need to blow it up right now because McCarthy had a full season. His first full season was last season, correct?
No.
Well,
And
it wasn't even a full season. He started.
Yeah.
he
He
didn't even
didn't.
have
He
a
didn't
full
play a
season.
full season last year.
He didn't play a full season last year. So
No.
what did Murray show him in training camp? Right?
That's the
That
question. That's the
that will
question.
have him starting over McCarthy. I think they should give him, if he didn't play a full season last year, they should give him at least the first 5 games and see what he does, see what his record come out
Mm,
to.
mm.
And then if it don't work
Because
out, bring in Murray because you pretty much know what you're going to get with Murray unless he has some better connections with receivers that's on the Vikings. How's it going to be a 5'2" dude throwing to a 7-foot guy? That might work.
Exactly.
Who knows? Because Jefferson is tall. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
right,
So
With
that
a
might
six
work
six six
out.
eight line.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right,
So how's he gonna
right. You got
see?
right. So
There's gonna be a
and
lot of
again,
rollouts. A lot of
it's
rollouts.
not it's not impossible. I look at Drew Brees was one of the greatest short quarterbacks, but they created lanes for him not to see over, but to see through. Right. So I think Minnesota has to do that. And to your point, Cliff, though, I have to say this screams volumes to me if Minnesota already is
Right.
breaking
Yeah.
camp, right?
It's
They
already a wrap.
basically it's already a wrap where you're going with Kyler Murray. That does not scream volumes to me about McCarthy's abilities. And I well, let me not say this. His not his abilities, but his ability to, read a defense, to understand, schemes and different things like that. If year three in this system you are again losing your starting opportunity. And I get it, it's a vet. It just doesn't scream high confidence to me as far as McCarthy is concerned. And I am worried because I think Kyler Murray, I think we've seen the best of him already in Arizona and running that red Raider type offense early on in his career because that worked for him. And
Yeah.
teams caught up to it. So I don't know what it's going to look like in Minnesota. But Minnesota fans, the T Wolves will be back in late October, early November. Go get your basketball tickets and enjoy the T Wolves while the Vikings
They're gonna be
flounder.
nice.
While the Vikings flounder through this upcoming NFL season. Um, man, it's gonna be crazy out there. But yeah, I think I like the look, and thank you, Sam, for bringing us in. Uh, breaking us in. To tonight's conversation. Now I have to transition to my brother Cliff. I'm going to default to my brother Cliff. We both from New York. We both Giants fans, and I want to get into the NFC East conversation and breakdown. And Cliff, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass you the mic, man. Go ahead and get us started.
And what I'm gonna do, man, since we peoples, I'm not gonna take up the whole time and just talk about the Giants, right? Let's talk about the
Okay.
whole NFC East. So, I'll share that excitement with you. Um, so first off, let's talk about the Commanders. All right,
Okay.
and
I like that.
they're losing their highest paid tackle, right, due to
Yeah.
surgery. Tornell, that was a loss. So let's see how they recruit for that. That was a good. That was He was supposed to help out Jaden Daniels from what Jaden Daniels' problem was last year, right?
Right.
From protecting that right side, having more strength on that weak side. So let's see how that pans out. They got some players. They did some good signings. So and let's see how that pans out, right? Losing a offensive tackle that you practice with all summer, right? That you're
Hmm.
excited for, and you talk about all the hype. Now the season's coming near, and now you don't have them. All right, so you got to
Right.
jump to Plan B, and we're already hitting preseason games next week, and there's only 3 or 4
Yep.
of them. So I would like
Right.
to see what comes out for that. The Eagles.
Oh.
I'm not an Eagles fan because, of course, I'm a Giants fan, but I don't like how they doing Hurts. I really don't. I think
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
respect him. You gotta put some respect on his name a little bit more. This dude done
Yep.
brought you a ring. You know, I know they don't like that. What's it called? That 1 yarder when he that push.
Oh, the tush
What's
What's it
the
called?
push.
push?
The tush push, and he loves that. I think they're going to. I don't know how effective that's going to be this year. When I know last year it was like 100% unstoppable. But I bet you
Yeah.
this summer teams were practicing just for that offense, right? For that tush push
Mhm.
offense. So I want to see what's going to happen, and enough people's crying about it. Let's see if they change up some rules
That's right.
on that as well. But if he gives you a good season this year, then what you gonna say about him? He's
Right.
like
Right.
he's one level of disrespect how they handled Lamar Jackson going from number 2
Facts.
to 69. So
Facts. Facts.
that's what I like. Now he's going to gain new relationships. He don't have to worry about somebody's feelings being hurt, as like with AJ
Yeah.
Brown, because every time he didn't get the ball, because Jalen Hurts
Yep.
like spreading the love and throwing to different players. So let's see what type of relationships he comes with receivers this year. Um, Saquon, he hurts my feelings every time I say I hate when he gets the ball.
Tell me.
I'd rather
Tell me
him
about
just block or get on the sidelines, but
it.
you know,
Facts.
it is what it is with him. The Cowboys, I
Cowboys.
don't.
Pack them up.
Yeah, the
Thank
Cowboys, they're not even worth. I mean, they're not even worth really
Not even
talking
worth
about. Let's
talking.
see.
Right.
I mean, besides the Lamb brothers, I mean, let's see what happens with the Cowboys, and then the Giants. Right? I know that was a
Okay.
quick synopsis on the other. So, but but with the Giants, some key things. Neighbors is looking good that he may start. He may be able to play come starting of the season, which is a good look. OBJ Odell. I
Yeah.
suggest or
Okay.
I hope they use him as more of a slot position
Mm-hmm.
than on the outside because I just think he'll be more effective on the slot. And let's get if Slayton is healthy to start the first game, let's put him on the wideout and Neighbors on the other side, right? Just
Hmm.
because of Slayton's his height, that's an
Yep.
advantage. And then on Neighbor side, you have the speed. So Which you can't double team both, right?
Right,
And then
right.
if you are focusing on both, that's why I said Odell will be, effective as a slot,
Hmm.
right? Because now he's
Okay.
going to give you that middle. He could give you that middle straight up like Santana Moss used to kill him with, and
Right,
be
right.
effective that way, right? I think
Hmm.
that for him being, he didn't play last season at all, right? No, I don't
Nah,
think he did. So
nah.
using him in a slot position will get him more um, used to him back into regular season mode, right?
Hmm.
Because of the attention. I love the tight ends, right? We got
Yeah.
Likely,
Yep.
we got Johnson, way better at the tight ends
Yep.
positions for the Giants. We still got the biggest Achilles heel in the world, and that's our offensive line. But
Trash.
yeah, that's let's see what happens. All right. Hopefully they will show something or John Harbaugh got some, up his sleeve. Now the defense, that's what I'm looking at to carry the Giants this year is the
Hmm.
defense.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
Scatterbull.
Yeah.
Scatterbull has to be healthy, no dumb tricks, stop flipping and,
Flipping
just
all
play
that dumb shit.
football.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you don't need to relax. Dart. We
Hmm.
want Dart to he's like Scottaboo in a way. Just it's not cool to get 18 concussions within three
Right.
weeks.
Right.
Relax. Stay in the pocket a little bit. You got receivers now, so trust your receivers. You don't have to just go out. Trust your squad. But
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure somebody like OBJ and neighbors, they're gonna keep them in line with that, right? But slow down on that. But their defense, this is what I'm looking forward to see is how their defense hold it down. Defense win championships,
That's
right? As
right.
long as the offense can hold up their end, we don't need the offense to be superstars. We would like to see it because they do have so, some superstar players, right?
They do.
But their defense, I think they're going to hold it down.
So,
What's your
so
thoughts on it?
I'm going. Well, I'm just going to ask a couple of things. Well, two things really quick. One, I want to start with the cat with the Giants with our Giants. Defensively, we have a plethora of players. Do we move on from one of these young pieces like Thibodeau? Kayvon Thibodeau is in the news all the time as being
He
the odd
is.
man out, and I think it's too early to move on. I mean, one down year. I mean, he came out smoking. In his rookie
He
year, but I
did.
think I
24,
think
he
Yeah.
one-
was doing his thing in
I,
2024.
I think one down year does not mean that he's done or a wash. But is
Yeah.
he something that we hold on to? And this is for both of you. Is this something that we hold on to, or do we use the trade bait, for next year to try to grab a higher draft pick and add to somewhere else, maybe the defensive secondary or another running back? Like, I'm just curious, you guys thought on that because he's been in the news the most from that defensive side.
What do you think, Sam?
I say keep him. I
Yeah.
mean, he's been there through the woes and everything and the low points. And like you said, 2024, he was a monster on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to me, like your linebacker core is like one of the most important and integral parts of your defense. Um, so I would actually see what he does in year three. But the question is whether or not he's a part of Harbaugh's scheme too. So I
That
think
part,
that's
yeah.
something that we have to take into consideration as well. But I wouldn't give up on him.
Yeah, I agree.
And you
I
see what
agree.
happens. You see what happens when we get rid of good players just because they're a little rocky for a year. You know what
Yeah,
I
they
mean?
go and excel
Yeah,
They
somewhere else.
MVP
yeah,
style.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
Exactly, exactly. I mean, we've seen that with Saquon, and that really leads me to my other question. And I want to talk about the Commanders. We here in the DMV, we get to see and hear a lot about them up close and personal. Um,
yeah,
I know I am not a fan of their head coach. I've never been. I just don't think he is that good of a coach. And we've seen some of the implosion take part last year on the defensive side. He's a defensive guy. He let the defensive coordinator, I don't want to say he let him run amok, but things were just messy on the
yeah.
commander side of the ball defensively. One, do they have the pieces to adjust on the defensive side and get back to some of that form that
mm,
they had in year one? And two, really for both of you, Stephon Diggs, another local guy who's now back here with the Commanders. Does that give them a real? I see you shaking your head, Sam. does that give them now a viable and a legitimate 1-2 punch for Jaden Daniels and that offense as they move into 2020, 26, 27? And I'll start with you. I'll start with you, Sam. Your reaction told me that's a hell no, but I want to hear it.
Well, Cliff already brought it up, and it's been the Achilles heel for the Commanders for a long time. There's no offensive line. You have an aging defense. So even with the addition, and the only reason why they got Stephon Diggs was because Debo Samuels decided to take his talents back over there to San Fran.
And the fan.
And the big thing when he was a Commander is like they didn't know how they wanted to play him. So that plagued them throughout the whole season. So fortunately for me, we going back to what we were saying before. You have no O line, so you're not going to give Jaden Daniels the protection that he needs,
Right.
just like previous quarterbacks that was under that program. And then you look at this, and like I said, you just have this old defense. And don't get me wrong, Bobby Wagner is still a monster and everything.
Yeah.
But and I could be wrong, but they could be like one of the oldest defensive defensive teams in the league, which is going to plague them. You know what I'm saying? And especially since we're in the age of speed, rules everything. So I have them in the bottom two, along with the Cowboys, because the Cowboys ain't got no secondary either.
Right.
They made a couple of adjustments and everything, but I don't think it's where they need to be to take them over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys is like the Bengals. You have all this money and investments on your offense, but you have nothing to show for your defense. And that's exactly where we're at. And the question is like, who are they going to beat as far as the Commanders? You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a challenge
What's their
within
identity?
your division, and then based on their strength of schedule, like it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
So I don't see them moving. You know what I'm saying, over that hump.
So you got two phenomenal threats on each side of the field, right? On your wideouts. You're going to have McLaurin and you're going to have Diggs. I think that's where their money's going to be, right?
Okay.
Let's see how Merritt do. Let's see how he does as far as a running back. But I think those are going to be their weapons, and how are they going to be utilized, right? Because both of them, somebody got to run into that middle.
Yeah.
Somebody got to do some posts, some curls right into that middle. Everybody just can't run straight. And I think if it does come for that, you're straight down the field with nothing but speed. Diggs would be the one for that. He should.
But is Daniels going to have the time to get the ball to them?
That's the part, right?
Now that's a great question.
If his man wouldn't have got hurt, you know what I mean? Because he would have had more protection on the side, But that's a good question. We got to see what happens now to that old line. So as far as the defense, I think what's their linebacker? Love. 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 He's nice.
He's a monster.
He's nice. So I'm not gonna sleep on him. But I think the effectiveness will come from the wideouts.
I agree. Me personally, I mean, and before we close out the NFC East, I got to give Sean. Look, I still think Philly has the best overall talent on all three sides of the ball coming out of the East. So I want to say that. I want to give Philly their props. I want to give the Eagles their love, even though they are a hated rival. But on paper and what we've seen over the last couple of years, they are the most dominant team, have been the most dominant team in the NFC East. I think this year, just from the things, preparing for this and just watching, they're saying that Jalen Hurts is on another level this year. We talk about speed. He got bigger, but they're also saying that last year he didn't run a lot. He didn't run as much as he did in his previous 5 or 6 seasons. But from what I've heard, even from the defensive players in camp, word is he's running and moving at movie speed. They're running, they're full out, and they can't even get within 2 to 3 yards of him right now. So just to hear that from your defense, and they can't hit him anyway. but they're running full speed and can't even get close to him. It's scary. Two,
Yeah.
like Cliff said, I think it's going to be even scary because he does like to spread the ball around. But
Hmm.
I think Devonta Smith now gets his opportunity
Yeah.
to really show
Yeah.
his worth as a number one receiver. I
Right.
think,
Yeah. That's
because
exactly what I was gonna
his
say.
yeah, yeah, I think he gets to show it because a lot of people, there is a size difference between him and AJ, but he reminds me a lot of another guy, like the brother in Baltimore, Zay Flowers. He's quick, he's shifty, he can beat you, on all three levels. And I think this is going to be his breakout year. If they get back to the ground and pound of Saquon from the year before, if he stays healthy, gives them that legitimate ground game, I think Philly is going to be scary. And look, Cowgirls, I'm not going to leave you out, but I'm going to just tell you, go ahead and go to Gerald World, enjoy your stadium, enjoy your Sundays and your Thursdays and your Thanksgiving, because I don't see nothing outside of, you say, C.D. Lamb and Pickens. They are the highlight. There's nothing on the defensive side. I think Jared has spent and invested so much into Dak and those two guys. It's really depleted, what they could have as a product that they put out every Sunday. And I think it's going to
Yeah.
catch up to them like it always does every year. We talk every year. We start out, Cal. I know you Cowgirls. You're going to the Super Bowl. Yep, heard it before. And
He
it's going to be the
believed in
same.
Dak's
Yeah,
word.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
Dak, shut up. You
yeah,
ain't
yeah. Shut up.
stop it.
Yeah. So look, we'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday. I think we open up the season with the Cowboys, and so I look forward to what Harbaugh is going to do with our Giants, and it should be an exciting season. I'm happy that we got our NFL pass back. We're not in the pony leagues no more. We got a real head coach. We got some real players, some real competition. So I look forward to jumping off this season. Any other questions before we close out the East? Any other statements?
Well,
Just real quick. So I'm sorry.
no,
Real
go
quick.
ahead, Cliff.
They penalized Jalen Hurts for staying in the pocket and penalized Lamar Jackson for running a lot outside of the pocket.
Well,
So which way is this
you
supposed
know,
to go?
well, you know what's funny, and like when you look at the two, both of them are similar in style. I think they both have evolved as drop back quarterbacks. They just have the ability to break pocket, and I just think, I was watching a podcast, and I can't remember. Literally, I was just watching over the week. I can't remember the name of it, but one of the hosts was saying, they're penalized, PWB, penalized while being black, basically.
Hmm.
You're penalizing them because you're trying to put them into a box that a standard or an old standard has been convinced that is the way or the traditional way to win football games. And when you have these type of athletes and these type of players that you can't control and put in a box because they can do so much, they're being penalized no matter what they do. If one excels as a great passer, he's being penalized. Oh, well, he doesn't move well in the pocket. If one moves well in the pocket and breaks plays and makes runs, oh, well, he's not a good pocket passer. So
You're right.
you're never going to make the masses happy. I think you should just enjoy what they both bring
They're skill.
and what
Yeah.
they do. Because at the end of the day, I challenge anyone. That's why you're watching the game. You're not
Right.
watching the game because of the offensive lineman or the defensive lineman. You're watching to see what Lamar does. You're watching to see what Jalen does. And that's why we as fans watch the game. So I think you got to get past that mindset. That old tradition is out the window. We'll probably never see another Joe Montana in that manner. We'll probably never. I think Tom Brady was probably the last guy, to be in that mold. I mean, you look at Josh Allen.
Never
He
been
does
another
both.
Michael Vick. Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I mean, just comparison with the woman was saying, she's like, look at Josh Allen. Well, he does both, but he doesn't get penalized for being a pocket quarterback or breaking a run, but he does it. So you know what I'm saying. So it is a stigma, and I thought it was interesting. I wish I would have clipped that because now that you bring it up, that's a great conversation to have. But I enjoy watching them both, even though they're hated rivals. And we get to see Jalen twice a year. He's a problem. I don't care what nobody say. Sam,
Who's
you
you
had
gonna say,
anything before we
Sam?
go?
Only thing I was gonna say is Jackson Dart slide. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And I can't forget about my boy Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
He just doesn't need to sit here and be doing doggone backflips and headbutting
Right.
people with their helmets on and all that stuff.
Just
But I
relax.
do. I ain't gonna hold you. I do have high expectations of the Giants this year, just because of all the changes that they made as far as like head coach. He has Harborough has all the hearsay over there in New York. So I think with that responsibility that he wanted, like there's
Mm,
a tall order for the Giants to come out the gate this year, ground running,
yeah,
all gas, no break.
I
So
agree. I
I'm
agree.
I- I'm looking I'm looking forward to see what happens up there in New York and whether or not they go to be a contender, within the Eastern Division of the NFC.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah, I
look,
agree.
I'm just praying right now. I'm just
You're right.
I'm praying to be competitive. I just want to be
Yeah,
competitive. Let's start with this year being competitive and being in games in the fourth quarter. That's where I want to start. So I'm going to transition now. Since Cliff so gracefully took us through the NFC East, I'm going to go ahead and transition to the NFC South. I want to. I chose the South because honestly, I think the West is the best. So we'll save that for a round robin conversation. But in the South, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like the big picture view for this division, in my opinion, is can this division climb out of mediocrity?
Mm.
And it
hmm
has to climb through mediocrity really through its young quarterbacks, you know, and really that's what makes this division so unstable to me from year to year. And this has been a continuous cycle, for the last several years. It just kind of cycles through. So last season, we watched the Panthers. They snuck away with the division. With
Yep,
an 8-9 record. Um,
yep,
and that was really following a late season collapse from Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was
yep,
really in the driver's seat,
Yeah.
most of the season, and they collapsed. So, heading into this year, I think the entire trajectory of this division hinges on its quarterback play. Bryce Young is entering into his fourth year, a revamped offense. Um, they have an aggressive offense, honestly, and it was good to see Bryce because for a minute, again, another diminutive quarterback. You know, I thought he was about to be kicked to the wayside, but he bounced back. He had a
yeah,
great year. Considering the Saints are betting their future on Tyler Show. He looked
hmm
good from what I saw, but I don't know enough about New Orleans. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't really dig into them enough to really say I'm confident in him one way or the other, but the organization is. So that's really all that matters. Look, we know what the Falcons are dealing with. Trash.
Right.
It's a hot stinking mess and it's unstable. Michael Penix Jr. He's the same thing as AJ McCarthy. I mean JJ McCarthy. I'm sorry. What are they doing with him? They brought Tua in. And he's already hurt. So
hmm
Penix is hurt. So
yeah,
they're already back to last year, and this year hasn't even started yet. And then the Bucks, probably the most experienced team, they're dealing with just turmoil. Let's be honest. Baker has shown that he's earned the right to be the QB1 in Tampa, but
yeah,
he is getting old. Let's just be honest. And we've seen in the news recently, he's coming into camp without a contract. He's not really happy about that. He wants that extension to stay a buck. So to me, that just really opens up a lot of hostility. And if I'm going to be honest with you, vibes and things like that make a team. And I think if the vibes are negative in Tampa, it's going to be hard for them to gain traction, especially when you look, you know, Mike Evans is going to San Francisco.
yeah,
They're one of their best defensive players. Uh, Levante Thomas, he's gone. They have a lot of different things going on in Tampa that just really make me question them and their opportunity or their window of opportunity, for this year moving forward. So it's going to be tough. But I want to ask you guys, and I want to start with you, Sam.
yeah.
Do you think is Bryce Young now ready, like for that prime time entering year four, or was last season like a blip on the
Mm.
radar? And do you expect more from him? Like last year, or do you see a regression with Bryce for this season?
Uh, I don't see a regression. I actually see Karen. All right, let me be clear. I feel like the NFC South is like the least. I don't want to say like who cares because I know that there's fans within that division, but like you brought up all the points, right? You got a QB carousel going on in Atlanta. They gave BJ Robinson the bag,
Mm-hmm.
but like after that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, let's move on from now. Then you got Tampa Bay, who lost a lot of personnel, and like I agree with you. Like I really feel like Baker Mayfield should have the keys to freaking the Bucks, and I
That
I,
part.
I feel like they doing him like mad dirty too, and I'm
Yeah.
really disappointed in that for that organization franchising him and not paying him what he deserves. But I think it was, even though I can't stand him, Chris Collinsworth made the quote that, because he dealt with the same thing when he was up in Cleveland, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like when you don't give Baker the respect he deserves, that's when he shows up. So,
Yep.
um, who else we got? New Orleans, whatever. I'm not sold on their QB either. So,
Thinking that Jets vibe. What?
no, it's just it was weird because remember
It
last
is.
season it was the Saints. No, it was the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Panthers that was like,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
neck and neck, like
Hmm.
who was going to
Yep.
win the division. And
Yep.
I think all four teams will still be sub 500, and I think that we're going to
Okay.
be right back in that carousel, just due to everything that you brought up, Dane. I think that that's going to somebody's going to make it, and they're going to make it to the
Yep.
playoffs, and everybody's going to be looking goofy, like why are they here right now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I I think the most optimistic team that I would put out there will be the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
like you said, came like the last quarter of the season, they seem more well rounded. So if we're looking at packaging right now, I think the Panthers are where they need to be. So they should have a better margin of victory and winning that division versus the other three teams that you brought up.
Mm. Fair enough. I appreciate, and
Yeah.
that's a good breakdown. Good breakdown. So, Cliff, I want to ask you. We talk like we've been talking about Tampa Bay. They got a new offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson. We mentioned aging, and for some, an aging Baker Mayfield. Still no contract extension. Mike Evans is going to San Francisco. Uh, Levante Davis is gone. When you look at Tampa Bay, because I think we agree that it's really between them and maybe the Panthers. I'm just throwing it out there. I think they're the top two teams. But when you look at Tampa Bay right now, it seems like a lot of the cupboards are bare. A lot of the
I was
talent.
just about.
Okay, so we're on the same page. So, and like I was
Mhm.
saying, I think vibes and chemistry make a lot. Body language makes a lot. And when you have a guy like Baker, who's kind of been the face and the leader, kind of coming in, man, like yo, man, f this, man. I don't want to be here. You know, is it going to be a tougher year for Tampa Bay? Because a lot of pundits right now have them as the winner of the NFC South. But just us talking and really breaking it down, is this going to be a tough year for them to kind of all get on the same page and make this happen, or do you see that this is good? This is a time for them to kind of come together and gel and kick in the door.
Yeah, I don't see where the Bucks is going to lead the South. I don't.
Mm,
To me, the Panthers just got that young energy. I think that young
mm,
energy that they were showing you at the end of the season last year, they going to continue it because that's what young boys do, right? Who have something to prove. Then you got McMillan, who is he's supposed to be that fresh rookie that's going to do it. So I think the Panthers are going to come out in the South. That's my opinion. The
hmm.
Bucks, just like you said, who is that go-to guy? Godwin,
Mhm.
Right,
right? Egbuka, right?
right,
Who
right,
who
right,
who are there's no household name. That's why you gotta pay Baker. Just like
right.
Sam said. Why not pay this man? He
And
is
they
your
can't stay
real
healthy
only
either.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
that part. That part.
well, he
But
reckless.
they don't have they don't have that household name that could even say, listen, they're gonna take this out.
Mm-hmm.
No confidence in that. Yeah, to me, Godwin is going to be the go-to receiver,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just because Evans left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he got it by default. It wasn't
Mm.
earned. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I have no faith in the Bucks this season.
Yeah.
It's like I don't
Look,
even know who's. You know what it's like? Remember how when we was younger, how we knew everybody on the Mets,
you
everybody
know,
on the
you don't,
Yankees,
you don't
right?
know
Till
him no
time
more.
started.
You
Who
don't
the
know him
hell?
no more.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, it's like that. It's like who's on there? You know?
Well, yeah, and that, it's funny you mentioned that because, like I said, like Carolina caught my attention. You know, Bryce Young, you got Chuba Hubbard, in the backfield. You got T
Yeah.
Mac, Tutoria McMillan. He's a rising star at wide receiver. Their defense plays. They play under control. They play well. They're aggressive. I thought they took a lot of aggressive moves last year, and it paid off for them. Like you said, and we all agree the NFC South is probably, if not, it is the weakest division of the four.
Yeah.
Someone is going to win. But I do want to just kind of step back and just kind of give a player to watch because, like I said, I didn't watch him a lot last year, but I started watching him in the preseason, and that is Tyler Show of the New Orleans, Saints. I think entering this season, from what I've read and what I've seen, they do have a lot of massive expectations for him. You know, his rookie campaign was actually pretty decent. He was under the radar as a pick. I really didn't know much about him coming out of college. I didn't watch much of him, but he did have a pretty good year, and it sparked a lot of optimism for Saints fans. And he won I want to say he won, if I'm correct, their final 4 or 5 games to close out last season. So that has to say something to his skill set and to what he's bringing to New Orleans. I think big picture, he's a 25-year-old sophomore. And Sam, this kind of goes back to when we talked about like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
This kid, he's not a kid. I
No.
mean, he's a man now. At 20.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I think he's 26. So, and this is his sophomore season. So he's older than most sophomore quarterbacks. So I think that brings a little more weight to the table for him,
Yeah.
looking at this level of
Yeah.
maturity and what it signals for him and the Saints. So I think with the full benefit of the offseason and a full year under his belt and being named the undisputed QB1 under Kellen Moore, I think that gives them a leg up and a leg up to be more competitive. They've upgraded their arsenal. They brought Travis Etienne over from Jacksonville to complement Alvin Kamara, who's, even though he's getting older, I still think he got the legs. They
Yeah.
drafted Jordan Tyson at number 8 overall. And with the division kind of being wide open, and like we said, with Carolina only winning 8, going 8-9, it's not unreasonable to say that the Panthers, I mean, the Saints could be in the conversation if Tyler Show continues to develop and the team continues to build around him. So I'm going to throw them out as my dark horse and the team to
Okay.
watch for this season. But I'm in agreement with you guys. The Panthers are going to run it back. I think it's just too much on the table right now. They got all the seasonings and all the ingredients. They brought in a 5-star Michelin chef to kind of chef things up. So I think this is, their division to win and their division to lose, similar to what Tampa Bay did last year, unless they have a big collapse. So
Yeah.
that's the South. And now I want to transition to out west. I'm just going to throw this open round robin because the West has been the best. I think it's been the most competitive throughout the last couple of seasons. When you look at the Rams, the Seahawks, we haven't really even talked about the 49ers, God knows.
And we
And
will
there's no
not.
need to talk
We will
about.
not talk about the 49ers.
Okay. But we haven't talked about it. We haven't given them any love. And I mean, we know what's going on. If you got, bang bang Niner gang, we got a Niner fan up in the building. You
All
know,
right. Okay.
if we don't even talk about Arizona at all, because I
Right.
mean, I said it last week. You got Jacoby Brissett. All right, we don't even need to go no further. Jacoby Brissett is your number one, and Carson Beck is going to be starting probably by week 5.
They're going to have to
Yep.
depend on your
So
boy, Jeremiah Love, see what he does as a rookie. I wanted him on the Giants,
some
so I'm eager to see what he does with Arizona.
Okay. Well, and I'm gonna open up wherever you guys want to start. Sam, I'll start wherever you want to start in the West. However you want to break it down in the
Okay.
West.
All right. So let's just be clear. There's only two teams that we're talking about in the NFC West, and that's going to be the Seahawks
And the
and the
Rams.
Rams. And the only reason why I say that is because, like, and I mean, I see Arizona at number 3. Unfortunately, like you brought up the Niners, and I
Mhm.
forgot who posted about that, but like out of the 53-man roster, like 72 players on the 49ers are already hurt,
That's
and we're
crazy.
just in preseason mode right now. If you pull up their list of players, like all 3 starting receivers are hurt. Christian McCaffrey went off the field either today or yesterday for an undisclosed injury. Secondary, I mean, defense has been depleted already. So we're kind of in this. I feel like this is like the 3rd year that that's happened.
Yeah, man. They just tore
Um,
up.
which is like super unfortunate. And maybe like they're in, midway through the season, they start getting healthy and start making noise. But like these first 8 or 9 games are going to be so critical, and to be so short-handed, what I'm saying, on both sides of the ball, not offensively or defensively, like both sides of the ball. Like, what's going on in San Fran? I don't know. I feel like, when, like I said, when I talk about Green Bay, I talk about our strength and conditioning, because I feel like that has been hindering us for the past couple of years. It's the same thing that's going on with San Fran right now. Like, they are not. Something needs to be discussed with the plague of injuries that they're having right now. It doesn't seem as if Seattle has lost a lot after their Super Bowl win, and
Mhm.
Minnesota is still punching air that Sam Damn Darnold took Seattle to the promised land,
That's
which is
My
mad
dangerous.
guy.
crazy right
That's
now,
my
Yeah.
and
guy.
that's why they're in the predicament that they are in the NFC North. But like, I'm sitting at the edge of my seat to see whether or not we're going to see Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald on both corners of the defense. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like, that's really, they went in the bag for what's my QB name? Um,
Not golf. You talking about Stafford?
yeah, Matt Stafford. They
Mhm.
they really they really threw everything to include the kitchen sink for
Right.
this year for the
Mhm.
Rams to be competitive and get over that hump. Because I mean, when we looked at Seattle and LA play last year, like, it was literally
Facts.
neck and neck. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Facts.
And that was like the highest level of football, like, playing that we saw all 3 games that they played against each other. Like, it was
Mhm.
high energy, high impact, very competitive. So, did LA do enough to
Mm.
put them in the driver's seat for the NFC West? And like I said, it all really just edges on whether or not Aaron Donald's going to be that last piece to the puzzle. So, I can't wait.
Mm.
And there's still a couple of questions, because Myles Garrett went off the field
The other day. Yeah.
today. Or,
Mhm. Mhm.
maybe the other day, but he went off the field the
Mhm.
other day for an injury. So for
Yep.
Uh-oh.
him to get the bag and now go
Uh-oh.
to LA, exactly. So there's still a
Look.
couple of questions that lie in that, but like let's those are my 2 teams that we're looking at in the NFC West. Like, everybody
Okay.
else,
So
yeah.
so real quick then, is has LA and I ask you, Cliff, based off of that, has LA put all their money? They shoved their whole bag to the middle of the table. They all in. Is it all or bust for them this
Yeah, they got
year?
to go
No
to the
question
game. Yeah,
asked.
they got to go to the dance.
Yeah.
There's no
Mm.
question about it. They have to
Mm.
go
Yeah.
to the Super Bowl. Have to.
Sheesh.
As much as I love the Giants,
Mm.
the Rams have to go to the Super Bowl. Look what they put together.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Because even with Matt Stafford 2-year op, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Like,
no, you good.
let's just be clear. Like, this is his last year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this will be his last year in uniform. So, like,
I
I, I,
agree.
I
I
agree.
agree.
I feel like it's really a make or break for LA. Like, this season has to be it.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
And you know what? With San Francisco, though, one thing they do have is great coaching, right? They have great coaching. So that's what's
I
been,
agree
to
with that.
Sam's point, that's what's been sustaining them the last 3 years. Because last
Yeah.
year, look how far they made it, and they was injured as
Look,
well. So
look,
Hmm.
when you're
they
winning
better.
games and you have half a squad, you got to give it up
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
coaches, the medical team, the bandage team.
Right.
You
The
know what
player
I
did
mean? You got
look, the play look,
Hey,
and
look,
it's the next
they
man up
went to
mentality
DeVry
for them though.
University to pick up players.
Hey,
They
give
were
me
grabbing players from the University
give
of
me give,
Phoenix.
give me the computer tech. Give me the computer tech over there.
Yeah.
I need him. Yeah. I mean, but look, you gotta give San Fran credit though to the next man up
Oh
mentality
yeah.
because there
hmm
were times
Oh
that there
yeah.
were a lot of dudes on the field that you didn't know who they were, but they kept them competitive. And as the season went on,
yeah.
you knew who they were, right? So, and I agree with Sam though.
Yeah.
It's something about I don't know if it's Levi Stadium. I think that's where it is that they play now in San Fran. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but they have been along with like Baltimore and they Sandy the Chargers. They have been one of the most depleted football teams. Seems like year in and year out for the last
And win games.
4 to 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Football is a hell of a sport. And like I said, I don't mean to, disregard the 49ers, but we really haven't given them much conversation. I wanted to give them their moment. It's going to be difficult for them, though. Like you said, if they're already dealing with injuries already in the
Yeah, out the
preseason,
gate is hard. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and you haven't
Yeah.
even hit week one yet,
yeah.
it's going to be
That's
really
hard.
tough. And Cliff, I want to give you your time. As we talk about the NFC West, what are you looking at when you break down the NFC West? Like, what teams are you looking at, and what kind of outcomes, and what do you expect to see coming out the West?
All right, so we're gonna go with the obvious top two. So, like I said, Seattle and LA is gonna to be the top two coming out that division. I am giving the Rams a slight edge, and that's because I, I'm still with the hurt back and everything. I'm still gonna pick Stafford over Sam Damn Donald. You know what I
Sam
mean?
Dan
Let
Donald.
Let's see what he does again this year, right? Let's see what he
Right.
does again this year. But Rams are showing you that you can have a quarterback with a depleted back, but their
Yeah.
O line is so nice it doesn't even
Yeah.
matter. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
So all my confidence is definitely rolling that way. Arizona, they're nothing to talk about but their running back. I'm a big Jeremiah Love fan. So I want to see what he's gonna do. San Francisco, even though they're chopped up, I don't sleep on their game plans and I don't sleep on the coaching. So it'd be even though but like I said, it's hard when you're out the gate like that. I think last year this was happening mid-season toward the end when they just started
Hmm.
losing a lot of
Yeah.
bodies at the end. To have this at the beginning, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have to pick their the last player on the practice team is gonna be playing, right? So everybody's gonna
Right.
get burned. They ain't gotta worry about that this year. They're gonna be getting that junior league run where everybody gets to run, everybody gets playing time. You know, Seattle, if Seattle will only beat the Rams if Sam Donald could still average 300-400 yards a game, like he was showing you highlights last year. Other than that,
Sheesh.
I don't think he has that in him to go back to back. The reason why Stafford could do it because there's no O line in the NFL like the Rams, none.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I watched the NFL live channel all day yesterday. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Nothing like it. No, it's true.
Nothing like it. Their old line is
Look,
crazy. I wish we had that. Oh my gosh.
listen, I would tend to agree. Now, I know I've been on Sam Damn Donald for like the last 3 NFL seasons. I do think he's some bullshit. I'm just gonna call it what I no lie. However, I gotta eat crow because he is a Super Bowl champion. No question
Hmm.
about it. And what he did with the Rams against the Rams last year, when it mattered, I gotta give him his props. I gotta give him his flowers. Only difference I see this year, I think, it's one of those things. A lot of times teams they prepare and they play
Right.
for the teams within their division. So when I look at them, I think they're very well matched. However, this year there
Yeah.
is one glaring hole that they have, and that's because they let their MVP running back go to Kansas City. And this is no knock against Zach Charbonnet. You know, they split a lot of the carries throughout these last couple of seasons, but they are starting with Zach. He's already out. He's on the pup list. Preseason
Hmm.
already. So your number one running back to replace
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker is already hurt. They have three other young running backs who I could not even tell you their names if you pointed them out and gave me their names. I couldn't tell you who they are. And I
Yeah.
think that's where right now, starting the season, Seattle was going to hurt because a lot of what they did last year in their success, yes, it was Sam Darnold having a great connection with Njigba and the things that they did in the passing game. But a lot of it was off of the preposition of having the run game to be able to control down in distance, to keep Sam Darnold out of long yardage distance. So I think that right now is the one negative, and that's what for me with the additions that LA is doing on their defensive line. God knows if they get Aaron Donald, you could wrap this puppy up. But
Yeah.
having Miles
Yep.
Garrett, what they did on
Mm.
their defensive back end with the cornerbacks that they brought in,
Yep. Yep.
you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just I think Seattle is built to beat them, but I think by not whatever happens in this running game is going to be key, and I think that's going to be the matchup that we see again, like we saw last year, late in the season that those last 2 weeks where they had to face them, you know, basically 2 out of 3 weeks they went head to head, home and home. I think that's going to
Yeah.
be another similar key, and I think this time, barring crazy injuries, you know, Matt Stafford or Miles Garrett or something crazy, I think the Rams pull it out, and I agree. I think the Rams are the team of destiny this year. They've done a great job putting this fantastic lineup together on all three sides of the ball, coaching and all that. So I think we're in agreement that they are the winner of the West. But I want to ask you guys as we come to the back end, who are you looking in the NFC Championship game? I think we can all agree the Rams, but who else do you see competing against the Rams? You know, for an opportunity to go play in the big game come February. Cliff, you smiling? I'm gonna start with you.
I'm going for the gusto this year. I'm riding. Last year I didn't ride. I'm riding this year. You know what I'm saying? So just as Sam spoke it, he has big expectations for the Giants. So why not? Why
Mm,
can't we see them? We gotta get past the Eagles in the East, right? Because I'm not worried about Washington or Dallas, right? I'm not worried about I'm not worried about the South. We got in the Central. Yeah, we got Green Bay and yeah, I'm still gonna go. Yeah, that could Giants and Green Bay could be a good matchup to get to the conference finals against the Rams. Yeah,
okay, all
yeah.
right,
I'm gonna say
okay,
New York and LA. I'm rolling with it.
okay. Man, that would be magical. Could you imagine? That'd be some crazy shit for real. Sam,
Why not?
Sam is already like hell no. But
Why
I'm gonna go ahead.
not? Tell me why not.
I'm gonna give
We
Sarge
got the
his shot.
defense. Can the defense get
And
him
look,
there?
y'all already know who I'm picking. I'm picking Green Bay. All
See,
right.
Okay.
see.
We got a lot of people that came back. This is going to be Josh Jacobs' breakout year as running back, and if he falls through, we got his brother. And then let's not forget, I think number 28, Robinson. We got a nice rookie running back too. That's going to bring a lot of noise. I think we have the pieces that we need defensively. I can wait for Michael Parsons to get healthy because Van Ness done came back too, and I can't forget about
Mm.
Rashad Gary. I already said it before. Like I think as far as the receiving core, like we're good to go. I think that also when you look at our O line, it was a lot of plug and play last year, so I'm hoping that we don't have to go through that carousel. Um, and I just don't want to say Chicago or Detroit. So
Right.
Hey, look, fair
that,
enough. Fair, fair
that's
enough.
just me
Fair
being
enough.
fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I
Well,
have my eye on them too, but I just don't want to say their names.
look, that's fair enough. And I'm going to go. I'm going to stay in the division because as much as I agree with Cliff, I have high hopes. I have high energy and high
You
expectations
should.
for our
Hey,
Giants.
look, the both of you,
I do.
the both of y'all should.
I
Yeah.
do. I do. I love the competition. I love what I'm seeing coming out of training
Yeah.
camp. I love the energy. I love the focus and the dedication, and more so the vibe and the camaraderie. I think from playing sports, a lot of times it's more about the vibe and the camaraderie that you have is what brings out the best in athletes and players, during the season. So I have high expectations. I think we're going to have a capability to be able to kind of change some of the narrative in the NFC. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on record. By far, the Rams are the cream of the crop on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm buying me a Philly cheesesteak. I'm gonna go to
Okay.
Philly. I'm going to Philly, and I'm gonna have Philly
Okay.
represent, in the NFC Championship game, going head to head with the Rams. I just think they have the most experience. They still
Mm,
have some of the best talent. I think they have, if not the best quarterback in the conference, he's
mm.
definitely a top three guy in the
Agreed.
NFC.
Agreed.
They have one of the most explosive running backs that's still playing in the game in Saquon. And I just think they have all that. I think this is their year to be able to put it all together. So I'm going with Philly and the Rams in the NFC Championship game. So it should be one hell of a season. I look forward to it. And I want to thank you, my brothers, man, for doing this again this week. I want to thank our audience, for joining us tonight. It's been another great episode. And look, it's football season, y'all. So be on the
Yes.
lookout. Dame, Sam, Cliff, we're gonna be out here in the streets. We're gonna be getting together some weekends, coming up, man. We're gonna let y'all know, man. Y'all come hang out with us, have a couple of beers, bring some business cards. Let's do some networking. Let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little shit. Let's have some fun. Let's do a two mic subway. And I thank you all, again for being here tonight. We'll look forward to coming back next week on a new episode. And listen, we're coming to the back end of season 9. We're going to be preparing for an all new season 10. More sports, more entertainment, more celebrity talk. You may be in for a surprise. I'm bringing back Monday nights. So you may see some celebrity conversations that you can watch here on our YouTube channel as well. All celebrity style. You can catch the three of us each and every Tuesday night doing exactly what we do here. And man, we just appreciate you all. Keep hitting up
Oh,
the videos online on our YouTube channel. Keep social media, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know what it is. Algorithms is changing, but keep hitting them up on Facebook and Instagram, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, just follow us, across your favorite streaming platform here every Tuesday night. And before we go, I want to give my brother a chance. Shout out. I know we did some cleaning house in the beginning, but anything you guys want to say before we get the hell out of here?
Man, just check me out on www.td3insurance.com. All right. You're looking for a nice quote. Let my team help you out. All you gotta do is jump online, apply. I don't care if it's for your business, for your auto, for your home. You need some life insurance for you. You want to start, a wealth bag for your kids. Log on, put some
Mm.
information in, and let my team help you out.
Period, point blank. Get it while you can get it. My brother Sarge.
well, like I said before, if there's any avid gamers out there, you can find me on all gaming platforms, especially PC, at Sarge Gaming. You can follow me on IG. Hit me up on Twitch, Discord. I'm there. If there's a particular game that you want to run, let me know and we can do it. But like I said, at the end of the month, I go back live with my Twitch and streaming. So just hit me up and let's have a good time.
Boop. And we're gonna put a pin in it just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Me, look, I look, I'm here every Monday, every Tuesday, working in the backgrounds, making sure that we can all come together and try to give you the best variety and entertainment, sports talk, and all that good stuff. And I thank my brothers for doing that with me as well each and every week. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. Real simple. It's NFL football is coming back. For those of you who don't like this, fuck the Cowboys. Don't care. They can kick rocks. Uh, and that's what I got to say. So thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's Two Mics Up. I'm your man, Dame DNYDC. It's Two Mics Up. See you next week. And like we do at the end of each and every show, may you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.
All right.